Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. This is Shirley with Spirit of Matter. And my previous recording was cut abruptly. And I kind of felt like there was a spirit that didn't like my speaking the truth, speaking the truth. And this is basically Moon Night, Jupiter day, and the ascendant is right on our goal right now, Beta persei. So we're gonna call on the energies of Beta persei, and I don't know if she's Minima or not today, but I believe she is Minima today because this is very fated. And you know how in Saturn hour I talked about the skin, and I stopped at, imagine you are doing a facial for someone, and you see they can barely buy food or something like that, or you tell them, well, you need to eat this, you need to eat that, and you see them making like a weird face. And apparently what you don't realize is they might be trying to tend to their face skin representativeness, to be more representative, to get a better paying job. And we go back to 2008. Think about 2008. I was just listening to Lada and Trifon. They were live now. And I love listening to Lada and Trifon. Trifon is a sidereal astrologer. And he was mentioning that the times in the sky where Mars is opposing Pluto are very much like 2009. And that took me right back to when I was doing that facial. Okay, when I was spending money on small courses, when I was trying to do anything I can improve of my income to manage my skills, and I studied. This was also the time where I took Dutch, when I studied the 2 courses of Dutch, and like really everything that I could. The Dutch was for me, but anything that I could to improve upon my skill, to beat the economic crisis, because I lived in Israel, and by us this wasn't hitting as hard as other countries, and this also needs to be said, but it was hard enough, okay? And that brought me back to 2009, 2008, and how Pluto is culminating, is closing that, and how just talking about the blue oils, the oils of truth, are culminating that, holding that, and going back to that conversation where Ketu was on my Jupiter with Saturn, and I had my psychotherapist asking, why don't you work? When I was basically making more money than pretty much anybody at my training level, because I was teaching English private, and they still asked how come I don't work when obviously I came to treat sexual boundary violations that happened also at work, and go into my childhood, like do the inner work to completely heal, to completely transform, so that I can put myself up on the scale of success and go through going from academic structure to free market structure, or to whichever job that I would go to, and can deal with whatever I'm scared of, and tend to, okay, whatever traumas I would have. But you know that he was MK Ultra. We already know that. We already know where that came from. Okay, and then dislike, where tending to Saturn, to Pluto and Aquarius, tending to everything that Saturn represents, and through the skin, through the face, through the teeth, through the nails, through the hair, telling the story, which is the story of every common person in one way or another during the Pluto in Capricorn. Everybody was doing something that was relevant, whether to the bodily organs, and that was affecting, whether it was your relationships, your career, the activism in your life, your goals and dreams, your satisfaction with therapy, your investment portfolio, your housing, many, many things, okay? Right before Neptune ingressed into Pisces. And you see there are some energies that don't like it when people tell the truth. Yeah, they were doing everything to get a job. They were doing everything. They had the income yielding. They were thinking whether it was not the color of the skin, but whether it was their appearance and level of representativeness, of whether it was their skills, acquiring another skill, acquiring another language, applying to higher paying jobs, trying to change themselves. People were doing that. Everybody was doing that, okay? And that wasn't yielding for a reason, and that reason is called satanic ritual abuse. It starts with kidnapping children. And when all economy is based on that, of course, from the root, it needs changing. And a lot of us people having to tend into our roots, whether it's the roots of our hair, our nails, our skin, okay, the deeper skin, the deeper facials, our deeper layers of skin, okay? Which is why would we use essential oils? Our technique of tending to that, a more holistic view perhaps, our teeth, okay? Of whether you should remove teeth, not remove teeth. What created this? How do you change, move the energy around the world, the structures that created this, okay? If you had fatigue so much so that you couldn't tend to your hair, tend to your nails, or even brush your teeth repetitively enough, what were the structures that were limiting that, okay? Maybe you had the fatigue because you were violated. Maybe you had fatigue because you pressed so much so, or you were overworked so much so that you couldn't even take care of yourself, okay? And for many, many people inside, that's true. I had a conversation during COVID with someone who was selling courses of self-pleasure, of Tantra, and she was helping a lot of people. And at the same time, one day she calls me and we talk and we exchange some words. She tells me, Shirley, I've been working from the morning until 10 p.m. I don't remember the last time I self-pleasured, the last time I touched myself, okay? And she had Capricorn planets, so this very Plutonian, this going to extremes, this doing everything you possibly can to change for your emotional experience, to completely transform. And then, for that was another experience, like having that successful business, but then all you preach is to go back into your body, and then something still needs to be tended to because you cannot even go to a point where you have enough time to touch yourself, okay? The labor, okay? And I don't know where that person is today or what they're doing today. I think they're still doing the same thing. I don't know what routine they have. But how powerful is the entire Pluto Capricorn experience is definitely still hitting us, because this is the last eclipse with Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is going to go direct, and the blue oils have a different color, a different, not color, a different meaning of the color. Saturn color is deep blue. And Saturn is boundaries. Saturn is death as well, but Saturn is dedication. And Saturn is that deep truth, okay, that harsh reality. And people talking about that harsh reality, okay? And Saturn is also the witchcraft. Saturn is also satanic ritual abuse. Saturn is also rest that's needed for your work to be efficient, because it's not about working hard, it's about working efficiently, and that requires rest. Okay? Saturn is agriculture, so everything has timing. You plant with the moon. It's not the corporation timing, it's not the industrial society timing, it's the planetary timing for to do something. Okay? And so with the Western view of Saturn is very much you have to be on time, everything, time is money, time is this and that and so on. But what keeps a person from doing Saturn right? What's underlying discipline? When Saturn is in Pisces, we deal with those questions. Because what happened when you tend to that Saturn? You think about the blue oil, the Kamazolen. Okay, you start doing justice. You start speaking truth. Your story begins to unfold, and now you're no longer your image. If it's midheaven in Capricorn, or 10th house Capricorn. Capricorn in public entities is your image changes because now you speak truth. They can no longer say about you, oh, this person lazy, or this person dreamer, or this person they don't want to work, or this person they don't want to do anything for themselves, or they're neglecting themselves, or this or that. Now when you begin to tend to that for the blue oils, if it's for taking rest, then you're gonna sleep. You're not gonna be available. What's that person? They sleep. Oh, we used to say this person workaholic, this person constantly edgy, constantly that. Well, they sleep and then they're a nicer person. Oh, we can't reframe. We can't say, oh, this person is psychopathic. This person always mad. This person has craziness. They are insane. They go crazy. They have crazy outbursts. They no longer have that. Why? Because this person's sleeping, but you didn't let them sleep because you threatened them that they wouldn't have the PhD. And you try to knock them off having that PhD. Okay? For example, oh, that person, they left them. They'll never defend them. They're never this. They're never that. They betrayed them. No. Okay? The truth begins to come out. And now everything exposed. Now suddenly you see what the things that the person doesn't even talk about on a day-to-day basis, they come out. This is why I say, if you're the type of person that treats the hair, the nails, the teeth, reflexology, even the skin, okay, those type of Saturnian business, then be prepared, okay, because you have to be you are transforming as well in that in that issue, okay. But could also be for the best, okay, because there's also the place with Saturn and Pisces of holding grace, okay, holding grace for one another. And so we see that a person literally turns their skin over to tend to the Saturn issues, to the structures in their lives, to the long-term goals, to eliminating debt or the right investment or the this or that. They literally turn their skin over, and now all the missing links are coming to fruition. They're being exposed. What was the missing link here? What was the missing link here? What was the missing link here? And people go back to where they were in 2008, in 2009. And with this set of eclipses and with this passage of Mars applying to post-Pluto, think about the giant house in crisis reaching culmination. I was in Israel and we were getting, you want to invest in United States, you want to this, you want to that. I'm like, but why would I invest to buy houses of people that were in the street because they evacuated from their houses? Bad karma. Okay, I don't want you, I really hope you're not the type of person who invested in that, because that would mean that you would get run over by the house flippers. Very, very likely that's what would happen. Okay? And definitely I hope you weren't the type of person who would get a loan to buy a house being told that the tenant would pay that. Some people living naively, they're elderly and they don't know, okay, for the economic situation right now. But some people, just like, oh, I want to be the one that fucks people over, not the one that is fucked over. And that's business-wise such a bad mindset. Okay, I don't judge, but it's also like business-wise, it's bad mindset. If you want to make income from this, you think about how much money I spent with things that had to do with English language before I was making money from English language. I would buy books, I would buy music, CDs, when people would still download them. Okay, I would spend the money for the last money that I have to buy things, to learn the language, to do this, to do that. And essentially, okay, what the income I would make was from teaching English. No other job fitted at that point. Okay, so the time until it was time off for me, but need to level up or retire, then that was what I was putting money into. Have no access to put money into, then that can come by. For example, when I was doing filmmaking, then I had no money changed hands. I learned it online, and then there was a job. Somebody saw me at the editing room and said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Oh, I'm leaving. And they said, no, I need assistant." And they weren't sexually harassing, fortunately. And so I was working for this person for 3-4 years, and I'm making money. Just got out of high school, making money, and I was on set with the students. I didn't count the money until I felt like, okay, I need a raise. And I said, well, I cannot afford more. And then, we separated our ways and tried to connect with the industry, which fortunately did not work out because they were all Me Too infiltrated. But that was how I invested time, and then eventually I got money. Okay, I got paid. If it was humble, I got paid to create for something that I like, and that was okay. Okay, so you think about where the money comes from. And so if you think about housing, you want to make of money out of housing. I, for example, live in real estate that my landlord, owned. Unfortunately, because it's getting more and more years, then I'm uncovering, unfortunately, I'm uncovering the everythingness about this estate, including the fact that the trees are cut every year, so that debilitates the growth of the people in it. Okay, not completely. I have a neighbor that had second child, but I cannot ignore for this meaning. Okay, that somebody tries to rise, and then the tree is cut, and so that's very much affecting the people, or deeper things, the deeper layers of the people that lived in this house. And things are being balanced. It's Archangel Michael balance. Okay, either it's balance or it's going to be an earthquake. Okay. Okay, so they can't. Okay, and it's yes, it's intergenerational stuff. But before I even lived in this area, there was a lot of thought about housing that I did do, and a lot of people that I helped that were homeless, and not in filling forms and stuff, but more like creating a home inside the place that they have. It's a challenge what I got from someone. He was like, I'm not sure, I never challenged for a person who was in a situation like this. And he said, well, I'm going to try, and didn't take money or anything like that. And he gave it me this teaching, and I spread it around, and people were getting houses. Okay, people were getting to where they wanted to be, to creating even of the jail cell that was transformed, the transformative that was transformed into a shelter. So to make home out of it. And for sure, anybody that was helping the process received the blessings because of that. So again, if you think, again, I'm going to be owner of a state because I'm going to fuck people over, then you're competing with people who are living and breathing, make it this house hospitable for people. Okay, I watch video YouTube, but I had to stop because it's like Airbnb, and how much effort and dedication was put into this Airbnb so people will enjoy being there. Okay, you putting up yourself against people who would invest their entire psyche and being and fundings and teeth into an Airbnb. Okay, you're up against the people that would put their entire soul, entire being into that estate, that risk the entire life. I saw in YouTube Italian couple. They saw an Italian estate, and the husband was like, come on, you cannot do this. And the wife was like, no, I see this estate. I want this estate. I'm going to put the soul into this estate. We're going to make it simmer there. And you're competing with these people. You cannot beat these people. They put their entire being into this estate. You cannot beat the person that's been there because they're supposed to be there. You cannot. It's impossible. Think about even Aaliyah. Until today, Aaliyah is dead 20 years. Until today, we keep talking about Aaliyah. Beyonce was supposed to be Aaliyah. Aaliyah was supposed to be what Beyonce, okay? Then I don't know if Beyonce's destiny swapped or not, but you think about, there was a place that was destined for Aaliyah, and even in her death, she still takes this place. You want to compete with that? I mean, are you fucking crazy? But a lot of people tried. And when your incentive for business is, I'm going to fuck people over, of course, it's going to be mean, okay? So, of course, going to not be successful. Perhaps it's supposed to lead you to the place, okay, what happened when you were trying to do something that you're meant to do, and then to go from there, because like men, you were oppressed. That's the point, okay? So, you think about the Camazolan oils, back to the Camazolan oils, back to growing yarrow, okay? I don't know about blue cypress, growing yarrow, growing chamomile, preparing the soil. Every such act has a lot to teach you, okay? The fact that the rosemary that carried me in between houses was the one that stayed in the front yard when they decided to ruin everything and make artificial grass, while I'm creating the half moons in the backyard, they're gonna grow a forest, okay? I don't know what they're planning to, but if they're planning to cutting the trees, again, they're gonna have a lot of wood. They're gonna have a lot of work, because it's gonna be water, okay? And if I'm planting something, you better bet I'm planting bay leaf trees, because they filter the water. Okay, so they didn't want, okay, it's not about, somebody, it doesn't, I don't know who, they didn't want these trees to bother with people, these 2.5 trees that they didn't want them to bother with people, so they're gonna get a fucking forest in the backyard. That they legally won't be able to do that. Like, it's very likely they're legally not able to do what they do today, but if legally they're not gonna be able to do that. You can bring their trees, you're like, okay, like, fuck up the place, but it's a good thing because it's the lungs of the city, basically. And it raises up the value of the real estate, so they would only be thankful for that on the long run. But you gotta think like that. You gotta think like the trees, because if you think like the person that's gonna fuck people over, it's has very small duration, and you're not going to be satisfied from that as much as you think you're going to be satisfied for that, for sure. And you're perpetuating for the situation. And I'm not judging, but this is where it's karma, okay? You try to cut off, but a person tries to talk about, the face, yes, they were looking for a better job to be more representative. Boom! Cannot recall. Oh my God! Okay, who's been walking around slandering my name? Who's been walking around slandering my viewer's name? Maybe you're my viewer, and you had a similar story, okay? Somebody slandering your name. So like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. We've been busy saying that these people don't want to work. Don't say that they took a freaking loan to change for where the facial structure, so the facial skin, not even the structure, not even the bones, okay, but the facial skin, so that they can make them be more representative, buy expensive, a little bit more delicate clothes in good price, so that they can be more representative. Maybe they get a higher job, maybe they get a higher pay, because all the things for learning a skill, being good in sales, being good in this, being good in that, all of these things were not yielding. Or maybe if they change their appearance, they're going to yield more. Okay, that's the one thing that I haven't touched. Turn the skin over like a snake. Shed the old skin. Maybe that would yield them, okay? Nobody wants you to tell that story, because they've been busy saying, this person ain't got money for food, they go about doing their nails. When I was in scholarship, for 5 years, every year, every recruitment, they had to spend more money explaining these posh people that live in neighborhoods where they get a free apartment and they have to do some classes, and they would explain people for why do they run into people that have no food, but doing the nails and making sure the son or the child have the best phone, so they don't come, so nobody bullies them at school. Okay, let's face that. And they had to explain that every year for 5 years. How much money spent on the many hours explaining that to people with apartments in central Israel, okay, with apartments, the highest real estate in Israel. How much money spent on that? and how much energy, money, investment is run into that. So you would think that the person that lives in this low-rate apartment, or the person that's homeless, that's buying a cafe in Starbucks so that they can get the kick of the caffeine, so they don't have to use like cocaine. Oh, but no, they buy coffee every day. Oh my God, I would never buy coffee if I was hungry. Go be homeless. Why? Because they need to get to fucking work. They're homeless, but they got a job. So they get the fucking coffee. And they get it at Starbucks to feel human a little bit. And they need to shoot a video so that people, they will be representative. They can't shoot a video all stinky. Nobody's going to watch that. So they buy a freaking coffee in Starbucks and they record a video. That's going to kick up the algorithm with the caption because people like to see their face. Who's going to watch this video? This video is a black screen. Who's going to watch this video? Nobody's going to watch this video. But I make the same video. I give me a good picture. I make the same video. Just a picture of my face. You're going to see poof, poof, poof. Imam with good makeup, with good lighting. Okay, don't have to be supermodel. Oh, there's a face. And if you open and click on that video and there's still a face. Oh, now they're watching. Because they want to see a face. Okay, they want to see a human being speaking to them. That's money. Okay? It's not about the do you do in your own makeup. No, you cannot do your own makeup. It's nice. But you need makeup artist. You need lighting. You need people, a team that works with you. Okay? You need to get along with all these people and for them to make good money. But then, there's so much invested into building an image that 2008 never was. That people never lost their housing, that people never were deprived of the ability to have income, that people just don't want to work. That people don't recover because they don't want to make effort, they don't take care of themselves, that people get bad teeth because they don't brush the teeth, they're lazy. So much energy invested into that. So much energy invested into that. And imagine when a person is going to say, I'm not going to go, say, I want to go to Turkey, I want to go to Romania, I'm going to coat my teeth with white things so you wouldn't see when they get yellow. No, I'm going to call on my ancestors. Because every yellow like this is an ancestor that needs to be reached and needs to be contacted with. Oh, now they're mad. Now they're mad. Because every teaching falls down. Everybody has a teaching, okay? Whereas the old grandmother said, like, darling, get a fucking bra. You need to support your back. Your boobs ain't what they used to be, which is a blessing. We gotta support that blessing. And that fucking bra costs like half your rent. Because you got some boobs. Now, what do you want to complain about that, or to say it's a luxury that I need in my life? I need to invest in that. I need to invest in that good brand. Okay? Then there's another ancestor. Then you remember for the energy this ancestor. There's another, and then there's another ancestor. Tell you what you want. You can't work because I worked for my whole life and then got my feet amputated. So you're not supposed to work. And then the mother of the mother tells you, but I worked so hard so that you will not work so hard. Sit yourself down at the table. Learn some etiquette so you can receive food, so you know the good etiquette when you're eating, whining and dining. Okay? They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that your ancestors worked hard and hard and hard and hard and hard for you to not work so hard. They want everyone to think you don't want to work. They don't want your ancestors to connect with you as you're traveling the world and just relaxing, because they never got the chance to do that. They ran away from world wars. And God forbid if the woman that tells you that wears some cleavage. Oh my God, she's disrespectful. That's the problem. Okay? So, and when we are tending to that, we're working with the Kamazol and we're working with the blue oils, with the blue ray, or in whichever way we work with that, it's it can get people mad because they don't like you to share that information. Think about somebody put you to torture psychically. They can't prove anything, right? You can. You don't know that the technology exists that records everything, but you don't know of it. You're not exposed, or you don't have access to it. So technology, okay, it bridges between the conservative and the innovative science. Larry Loudon, 1990s. Theoretical framework for my thesis. They don't want you to talk about that. They don't want you to remember that. Okay. Then what happens? They set you up with another energy. So either you would think you're imagining, or that energy would leak information, because that energy also isolated, but that energy is in another place, doing another role, doing another job. Okay? Now something happens. You get that energy in your energy, and you believe yourself you're not imagining, and something's going on here. You say no. But that energy, the victim of situation is I'm a victim of situation. Okay? Or there's some transformation going on with that energy. You say, no, I'm not disrespectful to myself. This is the dumb fuckery I've been putting. That energy was like, well, that's the dumb fuckery I've been putting. You get that. Then 2 days to political assassination, you get that. Now something's going on. That was not to the light, so they try to mess within this, mess within that. Okay? They say, okay, go to that energy. Everybody's sure it's gonna be a big collision. And like, damn. When I think about it, but that person that will actually, everybody make of them like the black sheep. Okay? That's what's up. Okay, when you begin to connect with yourself. Oh, that person, why they were defending that judge? Oh, because they got Kanye. Because they were trying to solve a case for murder when somebody was wrong person put on murder of children. And they, even from within the cult, they said, want to tend to that, want to change, look into that. Okay, then something happens and they defend that judge. Why? I want you to hate on that person. Why they defend that judge? Okay. That's when you start connecting things that so much energy is invested so that you would not connect. You would not tend to the root of things. Remove the energy around is moving from the root. So everything was rotten. The starts to move, starts to dissolve, both in your psyche, your brain, your nervous system, and in your skin, your teeth, your nails, your hair, your ancestral connection. Okay, the energy starts to move. And all those that try to put you down, they are falling like the leaves of the trees in autumn. Because if their life was only dependent on barring you from life, they are falling like the leaves of the trees. They can try to put stop record, stop this, stop that, don't say that, don't this, don't that. You come back. When you come back, when ascendant is with better persei, it's minimum. They didn't want to say it on that time, and now we got an even more potent timing. Say the same thing fiercely. Okay? That child that tried to kidnap that hospital, came back, and together with the other children, taking all of that system which kidnapped the children down, but they're not forgetting that the people from within the system are those children that had nobody to save them at these moments where they were kidnapped. And that's the truth that a lot of people are not comfortable with hearing. You said that and that. Why? Because not a chip on my shoulder. Right? So, and then people want you to shorten your time. Don't talk so much. Don't talk so much. Goodbye. We don't like to hear that. We don't like to hear that. They still want to blame you in something, to put it on you in something. You say you didn't do the job, you didn't do the job, but you done the job. And all of those who try to make you to intervene so you wouldn't get to that. So you'd still be eating what's bad for you. So you'd still be doing what's try to go and to mess with your brain and to this and to that and to do witchcraft and to do that. You're going down. Better not ride these roads. Better not ride these roads. Better not try to dim the shine of a person. You have a truth to say, to speak your truth. And you even had the platform. You even had the platform. But you don't like somebody speaking up. How will you get the stage to speak up when you don't like somebody speaking up? And speaking up with the mic open. It's not like I force someone to listen to me, but they can't do it. If you're listening up, so tune down the MK Ultra. Shut down the phone. Tune down there, go to sleep. If you've been in the back scene, try to mix with things and mess with things, so much so that now you can't sleep, well, I can't help you. Because even if I didn't speak, you would still not sleep until I would speak, and then you'd feel relief. Because the truth is coming out. Even those who did harm feel relief. So, I'll see you in next episode. And thank you for watching.